If you're only curious about the Trump part of this video, I chaptered the video. You can click the timeline, go to the description, and check that part. So this beginning part, I want to talk about the lovely life of Jesse Jackson for just one moment if I could. Reverend Jesse Jackson, beautiful man, 84 years old, passed away today. Very sad news, and it hurt me when I heard this because I actually enjoy Jesse Jackson. Now, if it's a celebrity, I'm not going to really care about the death, but if it's somebody that directly affected how I live my day-to-day life, I care about the legacy they left behind. Jesse Jackson left behind an insane legacy. He grew up in Jim Crow segregation, Greenville, South Carolina. He was there. He couldn't even breathe the same air as white people, and he did so anyway. You know what he did in North Carolina A&T? He was arrested with 7 others in a silent demonstration in a whites-only public library, and he continually did that every single time. Put his body online, put his names on arrest records. Slow, grinding work of making injustice visible. He became Martin Luther King Jr.'s protege. He was there in Memphis on April 4th, 1968, at the Lorraine Motel. When the shot rang out and King fell, Jackson was in the parking lot below, had been speaking with King's moments before. That is Jesse Jackson to me. Had Martin Luther print, because he's a King Jr., his blood all over his body, and then proceeded to continue to go forward. He is the brutal, unasked for inheritance of watching your mentor die and being expected to carry what he carried. That's what it was. And Jackson carried it. He founded Operation Push, People United to Serve Humanity, to continue the work of economic justice. I think he later merged with the National Rainbow Coalition, creating Rainbow Push, and that's happened that later, is an institution dedicated to the proposition that justice is not just about race, but the intersection of race, class, and opportunity. It was beautiful. It was structured. It was relentless organizing. He was amazing. He also ran for president twice. I believe it was in 1984 and in 1988 again. He didn't win the nomination, but in 1988, he won 7 million votes, carried 5 states, and he reshaped what was possible. He proved that a black candidate could build a multiracial coalition and could compete seriously on a national stage. That's what I love about him. He could force the party to confront its own assumptions, and that's beautiful. I love all the work he did, every single bit of work. If you don't know his work, I'm gonna tell you about his work. Every black candidate who came after Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, walked through a door that Jackson's campaigns pried open with years of this organizing and millions of votes. His 1988 convention speech, all of it, ended with the refrain that echoes decades later. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. That's what he wanted. He didn't want despair to win. That's what it was. Beyond politics, beyond everything, he negotiated the release of American pilot Lieutenant Robert Goodman from Syria in 1983. He traveled to Iraq before the Gulf War to plead for hostages. He used his moral authority to bring people home. He pushed Hollywood to diversify. He pressed studios to hire more people of color to tell stories that reflected the actual population. He was amazing in all that he did his entire life. In 2000, Bill Clinton awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civil honor. It recognized a lifetime of work that stretched from lunch counter protests to presidential campaigns to hostage negotiations to everything. He spent his last years battling progressive supranuclear palsy. I believe that's what he has, supranuclear palsy. I believe that's what it was. It was a neurodegenerative condition where his families kept faith with his legacy. He died today, February 17th, 2026, at 84. He was amazing. He was amazing for me, people everywhere, for his family, the oppressed, the voiceless, and the overlooked in the world. And I love him. He was not some networking contact. He was not a character witness for anyone else's narrative. He was powerful. He spent 60 plus years pushing America towards its own stated ideas. He did it with his voice, his body, and every organization that he built. He had this unrelenting refusal to accept the things that he could change. And I love Jesse Jackson for that. And I will never let his legacy be besmirched in any capacity because I respect all the work and effort that he did for all people that didn't have a voice. Thank you, Jesse Jackson. I'm sorry that you are no longer with us. You are amazing. Now I'm gonna read Donald Trump's Truth Social post about Jesse Jackson. I'm gonna read it bar for bar, so please stay tuned. Give me a second. The Reverend Jesse Jackson is dead at 84. I knew him well long before becoming president. He was a good man with lots of personality, grit, and street smarts. He was very gregarious, someone who truly loved people. Despite the fact that I am falsely and consistently called a racist by the scoundrels and lunatics on the radical left, Democrats, all, it was always my pleasure to help Jesse along the way. So I just want to point this out before I continue. He immediately just had to take that moment to downplay the radical left. Don't really know what's going on there. Don't really know what happened there. But let's continue talking and honoring Jesse Jackson. I provided office space for him and his Rainbow Coalition for years in the Trump building at 40 Wall Street, responding to his request for help in getting criminal justice reform passed and signed when no other president would even try. Single-handedly pushed and passed long-term funding for historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, which Jesse loved, but also which other presidents would not do. Responding to Jesse's support for opportunity zones, the single most successful economic development package yet arrived for black businesses, men and women, and much more. Jesse was a force of nature like few others before him. He had much to do with the election without acknowledgement or credit of Barack Hussein Obama, just an insane thing to say, a man who Jesse could not stand. He loved his family greatly, and to them, I extend my deepest sympathies and condolences. Jesse will be missed. President Donald J. Trump. I do respect the fact that he acknowledged the beautiful work that Jesse did, and that's where my end of respect for Donald Trump happens completely. What was that? What was going on there? What was that? Why is everybody in Trump's life only as valuable as how useful they are to him? What is with this? Every sentence circles back to Trump's reflection as if it's a phone camera that flipped on selfie mode during a funeral. It's disgusting. I'm insulted. I'm deeply insulted by what he would even consider doing that. Why would he do that? Why is Jackson's life being summarized for the purpose of grading how useful he was to Trump's personal narrative? Why was he doing that? Why? The immediate pivot into, I helped him. I helped him. I did great. I helped him. This is where the post fully derails. Help is presented as this credential. It's just a credential. That's insane. Trump is saying, I'm a benefactor of Jackson, actually. I did amazing things. This is great. I want you to show how unracist I am. This is great. It doesn't change how unracist you are, by the way. The death of another human being does not turn you into some resume bullet point. You don't do that. And the tone never slows down enough to acknowledge the loss of what we just lost. It's just insane. It's just proximity to Trump. That's crazy. If you're stupid, the post sounds really cool. That if you're dumb, but it just keeps going into policy self-credit. We did social justice reform. No other president would. I did HBCU funding. I did opportunity zones. Each one tossed over and over again over his coffin. Just monopoly money tossed over the coffin. Trump cannot mention a black civil rights leader without immediately litigating his own racist allegations. That's it. What is this? Why do you do that? Trump's ongoing argument with the world, it just keeps going. We're just forced to listen to it every single time. And then Barack Hussein Obama. What level of insecurity do you have to have as a human being? It's just to bring up Obama at every single time. Jackson could not stand Obama. I'm sorry. Is it because Jackson once said, I will cut Obama's nuts off? And then he later came back and said, sorry about that. I was a little bit crazy. That's my bad. That's what he said. That's what he said because he thought Obama was talking down to black audiences. That's what it is. That's the whole thing. That's insane. He later went back and said, hey, I'm sorry about that. Didn't really mean to do that. That's crazy because you're erasing years of public support for Obama, reconciliation, and the famous image of Jackson weeping tears of joy at Obama's victory speech. We're gonna talk about that? No? He just hated Obama? That's the whole thing? Are you insane? Are you crazy? Are you actually nuts? Are you losing your mind? Or you have dementia? Are you pissing me off right now? I hate Trump's worldview. I hate people that want to agree with him. I hate him. It's so stupid. It's dumb. Trump's policies in exactly the way Trump wants things to be remembered. It's his whole thing. It's disgusting. The dead are very convenient that way because they cannot correct the record. They cannot add nuance. They cannot say that's not how I felt. So Trump fills in the silence with himself. That's what he does every time when someone passes away, every single time. And there's this weird misunderstanding here. I don't know, maybe he's just ignorant. He doesn't understand what Jesse Jackson represented. I can understand that. Jesse's life was not about proximity to power. It was about pressure on power. It was about organizing people who had been told they didn't matter and proving that they did. I'm so angry that I'm stumbling on my words. It was about marches, boycotts, voter registration drives. This slow work of doing actual work. I don't get Trump's post because it's so ego. Not gonna let you forget, Trump, that you posted a video, a 1-second video at the end of your thing about Michelle and Barack Obama as monkeys. Not gonna let you forget that. You're racist. Not gonna do anything. You're racist. You are absolutely racist. Not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna say that. It's the most racist thing he had seen from the White House. It's insane. And the White House defended it. They blamed the staffer. And they think you can let that. I'm not letting that fade. I'm not letting that fade at all. I'm not doing that. Jesse Jackson, a man who spent his life fighting against the very dehumanization that AI video represented, and using his death to once again censor himself, attack Obama, and complain about being called a racist. Are you crazy? Are you insane? Is that what we're doing? Is that it? Is that he's doing it over a body of a man who literally bled for the movement? Jesse Jackson deserves so much better. He deserved reflection, complexity, humility. He deserved the acknowledgement of the full arc, the triumphs and the controversies, the campaigns and the compromises, the 60 years of showing up. Instead, his death got hijacked by our president. Even in death, Trump demands applause, validation, narrative control, whatever he needs to, because he cannot tolerate a single moment that isn't about him. God, I despise you with my whole chest. Anyways, I'm pissed. I hope you have a lovely day or night wherever you're at. I hope you can remember Jesse Jackson for what he was and not the nonsense that Trump is spouting. Have a lovely day or night wherever you're at. I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your Nick and Night, be my Laurel. Happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. I love the ride when you